and hello, it's Sophia here today, and I literally just got this alert like an hour ago, and I had this debate with my father of, like, I think it was like 6 months ago, on this exact topic, and I am super passionate and really excited about this, because it personally affects me. I mean, almost all things in politics will eventually affect me, but this one sooner than others. So, currently, the voting age is 18, almost across the country. Not completely, we'll get to that in a minute. And I just got this alert in like an hour ago. I have the OPB app, Oregon Public Broadcasting, and I just got an alert saying that Senator Shima Friggin, a Democrat from Portland, sorry, I'm reading this from my computer, which is right there. Right there. That she has just introduced a bill to try to put on the 2020 electoral ballot that says basically she's trying to lower the Oregon voting age to 16. The reason this is a big deal is because there are a lot of counties in almost all of California. I think this article says that it's only state. I'm fairly sure California, at least most of the counties, 16-year-olds are allowed to vote. This is a huge deal. So we're going to go over the pros and cons, but let me just give a quick background. The one other time, so when the country was officially made, the voting age was, voting was white, straight, males, and then once we got all of that situated where it was like, okay, women can vote, okay, people, non-white people can vote, women can vote, okay, now they set an age, and it was 21, but the draft age was 18, so it was 18-year-olds were pretty honestly mad because it was all going on during the Vietnam War. Because they were like, oh, I can't, people are sending me off to war, legislators are sending me off to war, but I can't vote for those legislators? What if I don't want to go to war? I don't have a say in this. So obviously they're pretty mad, and they got the voting age lowered to 18. Now, here's another thing. That was the first time it happened, and that was incited by war. We are currently at war, but America's only had 21 years out of its like 200 and something years of existence. I believe it's like 230 years of existence that it has not been at war. So that's not saying much that we're at war right now. So let's look at the pros and cons. Because I'm really excited about this, we're going to start with the pros. So, 1, voters can, 16-year-olds studies are showing that 16-year-olds are just as knowledgeable, or younger, example, me, about civics, politics, some even more, again, example, me, I've run into a lot of idiot adults, and I've had to explain things. No offense, but it's true. And that we are ready to vote, we want to vote. Of course, 16, I'm not 16 yet. And they're a lot more educated, sometimes more, in political efficiency. Another thing, at 16, people do generally have a voice. They have a voice, and 16-year-olds are allowed to, most 16-year-olds, you get your driver's license at 16, you can be tried as an adult for some crimes, you have to pay taxes, well, some taxes, I say some. So why can't they vote like an adult? You already have all these things. And yeah, so it's like, and also you're being treated and expected most people to act like an adult. I know that doesn't carry as much weight, but it still does count that people should be able to vote. 16-year-olds should be able to vote. Another thing. Lowering the voting age to 16 will increase voter turnout and start habits. The adolescent brain is the easiest for forming habits. If you want to form a habit to, say, snap every hour, if you do it for 30 days, if you do it during your adolescent brain, it's a lot, when you're an adolescent, I say adolescent, I'm really meaning teenager, it's a lot easier to get into that habit because your brain is basically rewiring itself every minute. That's an exaggeration. So, okay, so that makes sense, and 16-year-olds are working, actually younger, and okay, now let's move on to the cons. So 1, Con 1, kids under the age of 18 aren't mature enough to participate in elections. I am getting this from a site, I'll link it. I am getting this from a site called procon.org. I will put it in the description if I remember. I probably will. Aren't mature enough to participate in elections. I actually hear this argument a lot, and it's the one that my dad made to me. So 16 and 17-year-olds, they do demonstrate a lower interest in politics. I will not argue with that. It is, I mean, you're 16 and 17. Majority of teenagers aren't really interested in politics. But then again, there's me. I go across all those, I defy all those stereotypes. And they lack the experience needed to participate in elections, blah, 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 blah. Excuse me, I have CNN, NBC, OPB, and I don't have Fox News, but I do look at Fox News a lot. All on my phone, and okay, I do take personal offense to that. But, not gonna argue, majority of them aren't very interested. Then again, there's 3 people from my school probably watching this. Hi. Con number 2, 18 to 29's age group is extremely low voter turnout, suggesting people aren't interested to vote in later in life. That is a quote I got from the site. So, yeah, that's fair. It is the lowest turnout, but also think about what's going on in 18 to 29-year-olds. They've got college. They're probably just starting out in their career. They probably aren't, okay, I'm not on my own yet. I'm still living at my parents' house, but isn't it just like, they have stuff to go on, and it's generally, for most people, it's the time that they have the least money, and they have to work, and they have too many things going on. Like, and like when you go off to college, you're still a broke college student. You're not gonna have that time to go and do it, and that's why I really agree with voter stations popping up on different campuses. In fact, in Oregon, we have mail-in ballots, which is a lot easier for a lot of people, although there is some argument with like, oh, you have to buy stamps, so that's poll taxes, which goes against the Constitution, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't. It's like 5 cents. Chill out on that. And this is getting to be a very long video. So, yeah. They do, and also, so that's why I do think there should be, personally, this is another thing, that there should be mail-in ballots for all states, at least as the option. But yeah, that's fair. They do have a low voter turnout. But 16-year-olds, they don't work with that. 16-year-olds, they have their own. 16-year-olds, generally, they're still living at their parents' place. Generally, they can still, like, if they don't have voter, and I'm talking about Oregon here, they are still going to get that ballot. They're still going to receive, it's just another ballot that they get. It's not, at least in Oregon, it's not going to add anything. It's not going to, it is going to add some stuff. Okay, but it's not going to, how do I phrase this? They don't apply to it. It doesn't apply. This one was written for the entire country, and I'm speaking about Oregon, but I do think it should go across the country. I spent way too much long on that section. 3, the vast majority of Americans on all ages and political views agree that 16-year-olds should not be given the right to vote. That was published in 2016. I think a lot has happened since 2016. I feel like that's a fair thing to say. That a lot's happened to 2016. You just look at any news site. We got an idiot in the whole Oval Office. So, yeah. Lots happened to 2016, and okay, so a lot of people don't really enjoy having teenagers vote and saying that they're immature. And people also say, so let's get on to when should the voting age thing and voter age be. And I hear a lot of people say it should be when you're an adult, which legally is 18, at least in America. Also, I should probably add this, over 20 countries allow 16-year-olds to vote. We're kind of behind on this. Just a tad bit. We're kind of behind. So it's a lot. So when people say it should be when you're an adult, legally that's 18, but psychologists don't agree with that. Your brain doesn't completely develop until, for men, it's generally around 25 years of age, and women's about 21 or 22. Again, it varies it varies drastically from person to person. One person who has had a upbringing that they have to take charge more and have to act older than they are, their brain's going to develop faster. And also, we can't have that's just sexism. And I know it's in the opposing way that it generally is, but it's still sexism. You can't say women have to do this. Now, I'm also going to add in this, people who are transgender, their MMR scans and brain scans show that their brain is more closely related, the structure is more closely to a female brain. It looks closer to a female brain than, if they're a transgender female, it shows closer to a female brain than if they were assigned male at birth, and then vice versa as well. So basically, transgender people, their brain is more similar to the gender that they identify as than what they were given at birth. So just a little interesting tidbit there. So yeah, we can't just I got into gender for a little bit there, but I don't think anyone's in favor of raising the voting age to like 25, because let's be honest. And also people say 16-year-olds shouldn't vote and they're not mature enough. There are 40-year-olds who shouldn't be allowed to vote, and I've met some. Okay? The maturity, we have to set an age for universal, and it's never going to work. You're always going to disappoint someone. But this video got a little rambling, and if you didn't watch the end, I don't blame you. So, yeah. We'll see what happens next. Bye.